Good day guys, come here, welcome back to Langrisser 4.0 news from the future, and very soon it's gonna be 5.0 of the anniversary, and on part 1 of 3 of this video be featuring the already occurred anniversary crossover collab Langrisser X Gintama. So on part 1 of this video we'll be going through on the talent, faction, and exclusive skills with 3C of the protagonist Gintoki from the Gintama. So are you guys ready? Here we go. And don't worry, watch to the end. I will show you guys a summarized version, summarized translated version of the skills that I did for you guys. And alright, here we go. So alright, watch to the end. Guys, remember, and before we carry on, a very great thanks for information shared and provided by the Langrisser mobile app, So, alright, and he's voiced by Sugita-san, who has currently not been involved with the Langrisser characters. I mean, he has not actually voiced any of the characters yet. Hopefully, he's gonna be one of the characters soon. So alright, his faction will be the collaboration faction, protagonist, and Yellow. So I do notice that the recent collab characters has always been with the Yellow's faction, the one that Landis and Sigma is in. So apparently it's a good news for me. So I feel there's gonna be, they're trying to make a comeback for Yellow's faction, so I was hoping the 3C is gonna be coming soon. And just spoilers that neither Gintoki or Kagura of this collab characters will be providing any 3C faction buff, so I'm definitely kind of disappointed in that, but oh well. Alright, so for this part of video we'll be only going through the talent, exclusive skills, and 3C only on the demo play. We will be going through a review of all the full skills with the icon and soldiers unit. So alright, Gintoki on his initial path is gonna be infantry. Oops, sorry guys, almost forget, sorry, his talent. So alright, at rank 6, gonna go with Spirit of Samurai or Samurai Spirit. So slightly long, but it's very easy to understand. So number 1, when one ally got attacked, Gintoki will obtain a layer of Spirit of Samurai. This effect for each stacks will increase his attack by 8% and damage reduction of 8%, meaning he will increase his attack by 8% for each stacks, and damage dealt towards him will be reduced by 8%. This effect will last for 4 turns, and it can be stacked to a max limit of 4 stacks, and this effect cannot be dispelled. Number 2, when you have 4 layers of Spirits of Samurai, Gintoki will enter a transformation state. He will transform to his Shiroyasha mode, or you're gonna call it a white demon mode. So when he's transformed in his transformation state, he will gain the following effect: increase movement speed by 2, and when entering battle, increase damage by 30%. He'll get attack priority. Then number 3, when ally die, he will straight away obtain 4 layers of Spirit of Samurai. So if you end your turn, you will be able to act again. So this Shiroyasha state or transformation mode cannot be dispelled, cannot be immune. Then this act again effect can only be triggered once per turn. And some clarification about the act again is that when you, how the act again trigger is that when you already end your turn, and when your ally dies, you will then obtain 4 stacks or layers of Spirit of Samurai, and this will cause you to able to get act again on your turn again. So for example, Gintoki has already ended his turn, and let's say one of your summon angel try to switch side with the enemy, then this is time that he will gain the 4 stacks and you'll be able to act again. So that's it for his talent. Apparently this has been a patch. This is a patch version of his talent. So one thing to take note is that previously there has been an argument of the previous the collab last year is supposed to be Demon Slayer or Gintama. So apparently it has been proven is Gintama. Later on towards the end we will show you guys the difference between the original and this delay patch version. So just a quick difference towards the end we'll be able to check. Alright, so let's re-summarize the talent again. So at rank 6, Spirit of Samurai, number 1, when an ally got attacked, Gintoki will obtain a layer of Spirit of Samurai. This effect will increase, each stack will increase his attack by 8%, and damage he will receive will be reduced by 8%. The effect will last for 4 turns, can be stacked up to 4 times, and cannot be dispelled, meaning you will be able to max increase your attack by 32% and damage reduction by 32%. Number 2, when you have 4 layers of Spirit of Samurai, Gintoki will transform into Shiroyasha mode, or aka White Demon mode. So when he's at this mode, he will gain the following effects. 1, increase movement speed by 2. 2, when entering battle, increase damage by 30%. And number 3, he will attack enemy first. And number 3, when any of your ally dies, you'll obtain 4 layers of Spirits of Samurai. And when you happen to end your turn while your ally dies and you gain the Spirit of Samurai, you will get the chance to act again. So when Shiroyasha mode, you're in the mode Shiroyasha mode, this effect cannot be dispelled, cannot be immune, and the act again effect can only be triggered once per turn. So this is pretty powerful. So the effect to trigger this state is that you do not need a non-summon unit. So like I said, you can give an example, just get any of your ally to summon. I'm just going to be straightforward. The best combo will be CC White after Gintoki and his turn. CC White will summon probably a horse. He will not attack an enemy, he will just go straight die into the curfew flame during the PvP, and then this will trigger his max stack and he will be able to act again, and he will do a lot of combo with the characters. So this is pretty cool and awesome, I would say. And not only that, he has both single target and AoE skills, so it can actually has a very great synergy, be it you're playing AoE or single target. Though as you can see that he has the best benefit when using single target, because as his skill says on the second part, that when entering battle, increase damage dealt by 30%. So right, moving on to his exclusive skills. So okay, on his initial path, the usual, he'll get air slash, so you'll not be having the stuff. Alright, his first path is the Banjia path, or yep, the company that he set up that is able to do anything. And apologize guys, I'm not a great fan of Gintama. I do not really watch the show, so apologize if I said anything wrong about the name that is appearing in the show. So right, on his first path, second class, okay, that is exclusive skill 1, and it's a very funny name. I'm not sure how it's going to call it in Japanese, but it's going to be translated as Little Lamb or Sheep Ram, or you're going to call it Bam, Bam Strike. So the type is a physical AoE, so it's the one you're looking at here. So it's going to be known as Spirit of Samurai class. Okay, these skills, it will deal 0.4 times AoE damage in a straight line, and then it will disable enemies' weapon effect only in PvP. When you're not in PvP, the effect will be changed to reduce their attack and intelligence by 25%, and then damage deal will reduce between 20 to 60% from nearest to furthest. So I'm gonna presume that this AoE skills is just gonna be one straight line, and if gonna have 3 enemy, the one closest to Gintama is gonna take full damage. The second one behind the initial target is gonna have 20% reduction, and the one behind is gonna get 40%, and the one at the furthest will be taking 60% damage reduction. So I'm gonna understand that why the damage reduction for the skills currently is that it has great effect, and due to his talent that he's gonna have damage increase and attack stack. So if you're gonna give no damage reduction, oh, the AoE damage is gonna be very great. Then followed by this skills will cause position shifting effect. It will be pushing enemy 3 squares or tiles back. So this is pretty good in the sense that you will be able to get Gintoki to rush out in front to the enemy when there is no tank around you, or your tank is not able to guard you. So when you cast this, you do not have to be afraid or have the fear that after casting these skills, your enemy will be able to rush towards you and try to kill or damage you as much as they can, because you'll be pushing them 3 squares or tiles back. So unless the enemy is cavalry units, or they have act against skills or have movement buff, if not, they shouldn't be able to come over and finish your hero off. So right, let's re-summarize again. So number 1, these skills will deal 0.4 times AoE damage in a straight line. Number 2, these skills will disable enemy weapon effect. This will only trigger in PvP. Number 3, when damage to non-players or non-PvP characters, effect will be changed to reduce attack and intelligence of enemies by 25%. Number 4, damage deal will reduce between 20 to 60% from nearest to furthest. Number 5, the skills will cause position shifting effect. It will push enemies 3 squares or tiles back. So right, on his first path, third class, we will be having his exclusive skill 2. So apparently this time around there is 3 exclusive skills with 1 3 seed, meaning each character is getting 4 new skills. That's pretty cool and awesome. Okay, this skill you're looking at right now. So the last part is Banjiya no Nushi, or Yoroya Nushi, is the landlord or the leader of the company setup. So right, this exclusive skill 2, I'm going to presume is a 1C because it's a support guard skills, is known as Oath of Protection. So this skills, once you use, target a non-summon ally and cast Oath of Protection on them. So number one, if the target ally is 3 squares or tiles in range, when receiving physical attack from enemies, Gintoki will guard for the ally. Then number two, when guarding for the target allies, and if Gintoki dies in the process, he will be revived with 50% HP. So these skills can only be triggered once per battle only, and then followed by when an ally with Oath of Protection dies, Gintoki will enter Shiroyasha mode permanently. So this Oath of Protection cannot be dispelled nor immune. So again, we have this support skills that actually have very great synergy with Gintoki. Is that this he's pretty much like, I'm not sure, is a second tier or top tier version like Rian from the Trails of Steel's collaboration. So the previous collaboration, the last Trails collaboration requires your at least 2 or 3 allies to die, but with the skills, Gintoki just need to target. The downside is that you cannot target a summon unit, but well, if you have any allies who are already low HP and you know that he's gonna die, all you need to do is get Gintoki to cast this Oath of Protection on them and maybe just let them commit suicide, and this will trigger instantly for his Shiroyasha mode permanently. So he's gonna gain 4 stacks. I'm presuming he's gonna gain 4 stacks permanently, and is gonna be in that mode. You will be able to abuse all his talent ability that we have been going through previously. So this is pretty cool. So right, let's resummarize again. So first off, you get to target a non-summon ally to cast the skills of Protection. So number one, if target ally is 3 squares or tiles in range, when receiving physical attack from enemies, Gintoki will guard for the ally. Number two, when guarding for target ally and Gintoki dies, he will be revived with 50% HP. These skills can only be triggered once per battle. Number three, when ally with Oath of Protection die, Gintoki will permanently enter Shiroyasha mode. Do note that Oath of Protection cannot be dispelled nor immune. So right, that's it. So I guess this is definitely a staple skills you're gonna use for Gintoki. So I'm gonna present this either gonna be, no, probably it might be a 2C skills because it has guard ability and so much more. Then moving to his exclusive skill tree, which is gonna be his second path, second class, is gonna be the Swordsman, and his third class, the Sword Saint, has no new skill. So the new skill you're looking at right now is gonna be a very funny name, and yep, I do know a bit is that Gintoki in the anime likes to eat sweet stuff, and this is why the name. This skills, I kid you not guys, is known as sugar intake. Yep, the type is a support. So when you cast the skills, you will heal 50% of your HP and obtain a layer of sugar level. Sugar level will last for 6 turns and they can be stacked. So after using these skills, you can move 3 squares or tiles and attack again. Then when sugar level reach 2 layers, you will obtain sugar overdose or excess sugar, you may call. The effect is a debuff effect. It will cause 1 movement reduction for your hero, and your damage deal to enemies will be reduced by 15%. So do know that sugar level and sugar overdose cannot be dispelled nor immune. When under Shiroyasha mode, sugar overdose will not trigger. So apparently it's a support skill that's basically a double-edged sword. So you might want to be careful when you cast this skill. So basically this is like a downside of the Yu Yu Hakusho collab. So after the Yu from the Yu Yu Hakusho, Yusuke, sorry, not Yu, Yusuke, after transforming for 2 turns, he will revert back to normal, and then he will have his skills having damage reduction and so on. So I think this is a part they're trying to implement because they can't let your characters get overpowered. So this support is a double-edged sword. So alright, let's re-summarize again. Number 1, heal 50% HP after casting these skills and obtain a layer of sugar level. So sugar level will last for 6 turns and these skills can be stacked. Number 2, after using these skills, you can move 3 squares or tiles and able to act again. Number 3, when sugar level reach 2 stacks, these skills will become sugar overdose or excess sugar, which you might call. And when you have these 2 stacks, you trigger this debuff where your hero will have his movement reduced by 1 and damage deal will be reduced by 15% against enemy. Do note that sugar level and sugar overdose cannot be dispelled nor immune, and when under Shiro Yasha mode, sugar overdose will not trigger. So the only way to make this skill not a double-edged sword is that after casting these skills, you're gonna get your allies or summon to either die or commit suicide, so that you trigger yourself into Shiro Yasha state. So the following turn, you'll be able to spam these skills when you transform, or when you're permanently transformed. These skills will not have its negative effect against you. So okay, pretty cool. So if you know how to use or spam these skills, you will not be receiving any downside. So this can be a very great skill on turning a double-edged sword to just benefits. So right, we are finally moving to his 3C. Okay, the 3C is his love sword, Toyako. So alright, this skill is a type physical single target skills. It has both passive and active. Okay, so this is the passive part. So alright, let us go through the effect first. So number 1, when you end turn and if you have not dealt any damage, you obtain this effect known as Yai. Okay, the effect is that before entering battle, you will deal 0.25 times AoE damage to enemies 1 ring or circles around you. This effect will last for a turn and will lose its effect upon triggering. So this means that when you end your turn, so basically it's like it will try to put his tanking skill to the max. So when you end your turn and if you have not done any damage this turn, you obtain this EI skills. So when enemies try to attack you and before entering battle, so you will deal 0.25 times AoE damage to enemies 1 ring or circles around you. So this is like a benefit against close combat enemies, especially enemies like, for example, Ares. So most of the time they will be wearing Last Rite as armor, so they will have damage reduction. However, for these skills, if you trigger, so before they enter battle, they will take the 0.25 times damage, and this will break their Last Rite armor, and they will be taking full damage instead. So there's a high chance that you will be able to counter attack and kill them off in battle. So the downside is that this skill will last for a turn or during the time when you have triggered this effect, meaning if enemy try to attack you this turn, the first enemy that try to attack you cause you to trigger the skills. After triggering, this effect will lose its effect. So the second enemy that try to attack you you'll not be having this effect. So, well, you gain some, you lose some, but overall it's pretty good. So, right, let us quick summarize again. So, number one, when end turn and you have not dealt any damage, you obtain the skill's EI. The effect are as follow. Before entering battle, deal 0.25 times AoE damage to enemies. One ring or circle around you. This effect will last for a turn or lose its effect upon triggering. So right, physical damage, active skills. So right, these skills will attack and deal 1.8 times damage to an enemy, and before battle you'll dispel 5 buff from enemy. Then after battle you'll cause your enemy to lose all equipment effect aside from HP stats gaining. This is only applicable for PvP only. So if your enemy is non-PvP or non-player hero, the effect is changed to reduce all their stats aside from HP by 25%. Then if your enemy didn't die after battle, you reduce this skill CD by 5 turns. So I'm gonna assume that this skill is either 5 or 6 turns CD. So the pros and cons, the pros is that it would be great if you kill the enemy, but if you kill the enemy, the CD reduction will not trigger. It will only trigger when, well, your enemy do not die. And that's the last thing we want that to happen. Then also for the PvP, so for the enemy equipment to lose their effect or to reduce that effect will last for 2 turns. They cannot be dispelled, and your CD reduction effect has a 2 CD upon triggering, so it's not able to trigger every time you attack enemy and they don't die. So you are not able to abuse this constantly, so you only be able to abuse this every 2 turns. So right, let's re-summarize again. So number 1, attack and deal 1.8 times damage to an enemy. Number 2, dispel 5 buff before battle from enemy. Number 3, after battle, cause target enemy to lose all equipment's effect aside from HP stats. This is only applicable for PvP only. Number 4, in non-PvP situation, if target is non-player hero, effect is changed to reduce all stats by 25%. I'm gonna assume it's aside from HP, just the other stats. Number 5, if target enemy didn't die after the battle, reduce this skill's cooldown by 5 turns. So do know that number 3 and 4, effects last for 2 turns and cannot be dispelled. And number 5, CD reduction effect has a 2 CD upon trigger. And that's it for Gintoki. I gotta say, is very strong. Is dealing, his 3C deals 1.8 times damage to enemy, and he's the first character that is like another stronger form of sword. So you do not have no healing, but instead you remove the buff from enemy, you will cause all their equipment to lose its effect. This is a very great deal against enemy like Helena, because her exclusive skills allows her to keep healing 30% of HP herself each time she survives the battle upon taking damage. So you'll cause all the skills that all the equipment they are equipped with to lose its effect. And if it's not PvP situation, you reduce enemy stats by 25%. This is very great, especially for map pushing stages you want to do, or challenge stage. This makes challenge stage like event challenge boss to be even easier to deal with. And you can abuse these skills, especially during challenge stages, that if the boss characters with over 300,000 HP do not die, your skills will have this skill reduction triggered. So all you need to do is wait for 2 turns and spend these skills again, and every time you reduce their stats by 25%. So this is pretty cool and awesome. So alright, we have almost come to the end. Next we'll be going through on the difference before the old version and comparing to this. So right, this is some of the difference between the earlier version and the latest version. So the earlier version will only increase his attack by 5% and damage reduction by 5%. The current patch become 8% and 8% each, be it attack increase and damage reduction for each stack. And earlier version only lasts for 3 turns. The current version lasts for 4 turns. And the earlier version do not give him movement increment. So looking at him as an infantry unit, he can only move 3 steps. So currently he's like cavalry, he can move 5 steps. Then earlier version requires a non-summon ally to die before able to trigger his Spirit of Samurai, gaining 4 stacks of his talent buff. So the current version only states for any ally, so this is a plus. I guess it is a good news that Gintoki came later. Well, we are gaining a lot of patch up and buff, and also comparing to his 3C Toyako, if you're going to compare, there's a downside to his passive. The earlier version deals 0.3 times AoE damage, and it will last for 1 turn. It will not lose its effect upon trigger, but the current version has been down patched, I will say, because it was dealing 0.25 times AoE damage or lose this effect upon trigger. Not sure why they do it, but I roughly can understand, because for his talent they have given so much strengthening of his talent's effect, and especially you can now abuse your summon to trigger his talent. So I'm okay with a 0.5 time reduction of his passive. There's not too much difference. And for his new exclusive skills, Little Lamb or Ship Ram, the earlier version deals only 0.36 times, but the current version deals 0.4 times AoE damage, and it will cause enemy's weapon to lose its effect, which the early version do not have this. And also, if it's non-player, they will cause attack and intelligence reduction. So this basically a plus only for the current version. So the current version include damage up and also PvP effect and additional PvE effect, which I've mentioned. Then about his, also apparently we can see, so Little Ship Ram is a 2C skills with 3 CD, is a 1 straight line that 1 times 6 squares or tiles. And his sugar intake or sugar overdose, it's 1C with 2 CD only. So we can compare that. The earlier version is only able to move 2 squares or tiles, while the current version allows you to move 3 squares or tiles. Then under your Shiro Yasha mode, your range can now allow you to go up to 9 squares or tiles. Yep, you can with your increment of your movement, so you're gonna go 10 squares or tiles for your range, so it's pretty awesome. And the only big difference is that they did an addition that previously the damage reduction when you're at sugar overdose is 30%, but now it's only 15%, so you're still maintaining high amount of damage output to your enemy, so this is pretty cool. And I'm surprised that Oath of Protection, the support guard skill, is only 1 CD, sorry, is a 1C skill, but it has 15 CD. Whoa, the CD is very long. There's not much changes, and the other last change for him is that they have added on to 3 new soldier units. One is Holy Pegasus, Sand Beach Mercenary, and also Steel Wing Knight, which previously they did not give him. So apparently they have been giving him new soldier units, which is the plus. So overall, I would say the delay is worth it. We are getting very cool and nice, stronger version of Gintoki. So alright, we have come to the end. So at the end, you guys will be able to see the summarized version of the skills and talent and 3C. So alright, hope this information helped, and sorry that this video is slightly longer for this anniversary. Well, a lot of things change and a lot of information to fill you guys, and we have more skills. So hope you guys like it, and remember to like and subscribe to this coming. See you guys and goodbye.